Hello, students. This is the update that I'm making for JMS 494, August 29th, the year 2022. That's Monday, August 29th. Okay, we're now into the second week of the semester. We're now into the second week of the course, Module 2. Stuff from Module 1 is done. There was a syllabus quiz that was due. If you didn't do it, zero. Most of you did it. Thank you for doing it. There was also a pack back that was due. Pack back is what we're using for the discussion boards. Now, anyone who did that, I gave credit. Anyone who made an attempt to do that correctly, I gave credit. In the future, though, we will be using the scoring. The system does have a system for scoring your work. And again, all these pack back things all together are worth 15% of the final grade. So I do think you should take this stuff seriously. When you write a question, for your original question, you need to get a minimum curiosity score of 50, and the system will tell you, and you can revise it if you're not at 50. If you just write a very cryptic one-word question, one sentence question, that's not going to get you. You need to write 2 or 3 sentences. If you have a citation where you're saying, hey, I got this evidence from here, or you make a direct reference to something from the textbook, something like that, you're more likely to get the 50 points for the curiosity score. So you do need to write a little bit. And then when you respond, again, you have to ask a question and respond to 2 other questions as well. Your response is also graded. And again, you need to get a 50. So it looks at your writing and the kind of things you write and how it's formatted. So you'll get the hang of it and you can see what other people have done and you can see the other scores that are there. So that will help you make sure that you get all the points you need. So you need 1 question with a minimum curiosity score of 50, and you need 2 responses, and those also have to have a score of 50 each. Last week, the question, I'm going to share my screen. Last week, the question, well, this was just an icebreaker week. Last week was just to get to know your classmates. Um, and the question that was responded to by the most number of students was a question by Kennedy. Between social media, television, movies, and music, if you had to give up one for a year, which would it have to be? All right. And look, curiosity score of 80. Okay. That's very good. That's what we wanted. Um, Bethany responded, give up social media. Kayla says, give them up social media. Oh, someone said, get rid of movies, get rid of television. Anyway, okay, so that was just an icebreaker kind of thing. Now, for the pack back that's due this week, the one that is due this week, okay, you are supposed to, here we go. We have module 2. We're now getting into the textbook, okay? So see the video lecture that deals with chapter 1 of the textbook. That's about the rule of law. You should also see that chapter of the textbook, okay? So see that chapter in the textbook, see that video lecture, and then the pack back relates to that. Okay. I want you to ask a question that deals with chapter 1. Okay. Here we have Lauren has already asked a question. The topic of stare decisis, that means previous decision or old decision. This concept of stare decisis, according to the author, it's the doctrine that courts follow precedent. Okay. That courts follow precedent. And should that be a thing? Should courts go by what the previous decision was? Like if the Supreme Court is facing a case, should they say, hey, here's what we previously decided. Let's just go with what was previously decided. The issue with that is that if the previous decision was wrong, opinions change over time and attitudes change and concepts change over time. Going back over 100 years, the famous, infamous case, Plessy v. Ferguson. Plessy v. Ferguson said that segregated facilities, segregated schools, segregated institutions were not a violation of the Constitution, that it was okay to have, a certain section of schools or a certain section of movie theater for African Americans and a certain section for whites, that was okay. That was Plessy v. Ferguson. So if you want to go by this concept that whatever was decided in the past should hold, no, that makes no sense. We don't believe that at all. That was clearly wrong. That was a wrong decision in the 1890s. So I don't think we should always go with what was decided in the past. I think things change and understandings change. Okay. And the other thing that is due this week, here it is. No, it's not due. Excuse me. Sorry. It is not due this week. Take a look at the final assignment instructions, okay? The final assignment is not due till the end of the semester, but I want you to start thinking about it and put it in your head, okay? I want you to start thinking. And here we have the instructions as to the final assignment. Take a look at that. I I cannot recommend strongly enough. Okay, take a look at the instructions for the final assignment. Let it percolate in your brain. Think about it. Okay, so that's a recap of last week, the pack back from last week. That's a preview and a heads up on the pack back that's coming up and how to take it seriously. You have to ask one question, minimum curiosity score 50. Your responses need to get a score of 50 as well. And then if you do all of that, you get the full 10 points. The video lecture that pertains to chapter 1 of the textbook, and just take a look at the instructions for the final assignment. That's it.